Welcome to Above the Tape, an all-access FIFA podcast. My name is Davis Lauderdale, and I am your favorite director of Florida Elite Volleyball Academy, but more importantly, I am the host of this podcast. Thank you guys for joining us. I know it's been a couple weeks, but welcome back. After yet another vacation, I'm happy to welcome back my co-host. She is the head coach of our Top 16s team, as well as a two-time Conference Coach of the Year at Sun Lake High School. Please welcome back Elyse Zapata.
Thank you, Davis.
How are we doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. So before we get started, please subscribe to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcast: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, and a whole bunch of others. And to all the non-haters, don't forget to give us a 5-star review. Mm-hmm. All right. So I don't unfortunately have a joke this week. A little unprepared. I do have a story though. The story's kind of good. So I'll switch it up. You good with that?
Yeah, I can't wait to hear it.
So, yeah,
have I heard this story?
No. It just happened. So the other day I was at the bank, right? And there was this.
Goes to the bank.
I still go to you have to go to the bank sometimes. So anyway, I go to the bank and there's a unfortunately like a one-legged man, and he went over to the ATM and he was just kind of standing there. Eventually I realized he was just checking his balance.
I thought this was a full story.
Anyway.
Oh my God, I can't believe.
Were you like really trying to think what was gonna happen there?
Yeah, I thought you were like say I don't know, like something really positive and cool.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so what have you been up to during your vacation?
Sleeping a lot.
Yeah.
Well rested now. I don't think it was my birthday, so I celebrated my birthday.
You didn't mention that.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah.
No,
the big 3-0.
The big 3-0.
Yeah.
So I've been, celebrating my birthday because it's a birthday month.
Right,
So
of course.
I celebrated it a few times.
Yeah.
Hanging out with the baby, most importantly. But
Yeah.
other than that,
Yeah.
just chilling and honestly preparing myself for like postseason and getting into all those things. So
Yeah. So
just trying to clean up.
Put a pin in that. We're gonna get back to it.
Yeah.
For me, I have been watching a lot of shows, a lot of Netflix shows. I watched The Boys on Amazon.
Okay. The Voice
The
or The Boys?
The Boys.
I've never seen that.
It's pretty wild. It's a superhero show, but yeah, it's
okay.
It's a lot.
Superhero.
It's a lot. Yeah,
Like
definitely not for the children. Definitely not for it is not Superman.
Oh.
But it's really, it is pretty funny. Anyway, so I've been doing that.
I gotta look that up. You know what? I've been watching a lot of TV.
Yeah,
I watch Summer House. Have you seen that?
Is that Netflix?
Yes.
No,
Peacock.
I don't have Peacock.
Oh, I'll give you my login. It's a reality TV show.
I don't do it. I don't do reality TV shows.
Yeah, so you do this one. And now like I caught up. So all the tea that's happening in like real life that now I know what's going on. So I'm like, this is good.
Yeah.
And I watched that basketball show. I feel like you will like it. It has Kate Hudson in it too.
Oh no, I did see that. Running Point?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that show.
I already went through it.
I finished it too.
Like 2 days. Yeah, it was good.
Wow,
So,
I've watched a lot of stuff now that I think about it.
I've been watching the NBA playoffs. I'm a big basketball fan.
Go Knicks.
Keeping me up till midnight to watch these games. They're killing me with the late night games.
Yeah. My Knicks are, hey, we have a chance now that Boston is gone.
Very good chance. Very, very good chance. Another thing that I'm just going to give, this is great advice for everyone. I know I've told you have to go see the new Michael Jackson movie.
Yep.
I'm telling you guys, it's amazing. Like,
how many times have you gone?
I'm going tomorrow.
Okay.
But I've seen it once already. I'm going to see it tomorrow. I'll go to see it with anybody who wants to go see it. It's that good.
You're going to see it again in Orlando.
In Orlando. I was in the theater, and while I was doing it, through the movie, I was like checking my watch, and I was like, do I have enough time to watch it, stay in the theater and watch it again? Because I had somewhere to go a few hours later, and I was like, I'm not going to make it. But I was going to literally sit in the same theater and watch it twice. It's that good.
So who are you going with tomorrow?
I'm going with Kylie. And my mom is coming in town. So that's our big news is my daughter Kylie is graduating college.
Ooh.
My little baby. I can't believe it. I'm a little freaked out. Makes me feel really old.
The next thing is like a long-term relationship.
Nope, stop that.
And then an engagement.
She's way
and then
too
a
young.
Wedding. And
Way
then
too
kids.
young. Way
I know,
too
but
young.
like that could happen in the next 10 years. You could be a grandpa in like 10
okay, stop
years.
it. Okay, we're done here. Moving along. No, but I'm really proud of her. I'm really excited. She's going to be a teacher. I would have told you she's going to be a teacher from when she was about 5 years old. That's really the only thing she's ever talked about being. She has the perfect
teaching voice.
Perfect personality for it. She's super patient, loves kids. I hope she marries rich because, but she was always telling me, she's like, this is what I want to do, but I'm scared I'm not going to make enough money. And I'm like, well, you got to do something you love, no matter what. Because if you do something you love, it's going to be worth it. So, hopefully that's good advice. We shall see. But she asked me for she's like, oh, Dad, she was doing something. Can you send me baby pictures? So then I went down a whole wormhole of looking through all her baby pictures. I'm on my computer.
I'm sure you have a lot.
I have a million. I'm on my computer crying for no reason, looking at all these baby pictures. So yeah, it's gonna be Saturday will be very, very emotional for me. But I'm really happy for it because at least I don't have to pay for it anymore. So that's really good. I got another big piece of news.
Oh, what's that?
BJ's has a new seasonal Pizookie.
Listen to summertime one.
I guess, but listen to this. It's a Biscoff Pizookie. You know what Biscoff is?
That little cookie?
The cookies that give you on the airplanes.
Yeah.
I didn't try it yet. So we went, and
I'm assuming you're doing that after the Michael Jackson movie.
Probably so. That's my tentative plans. But it looks so good. It's a sugar cookie with ice cream. With a buttercream sauce, and then a Biscoff cookie, and then Biscoff cookie crumbles all around it. I have to do it.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So I've already called and asked when it's leaving, and they won't tell me because they say they don't know. So I'm freaking out about it that it's going to be gone tomorrow when I go. So I feel
like I have to go to today and go get
I know. I'm telling you.
There's one 20 minutes away.
The one in Lutz?
Yeah.
Everything's 20 minutes from here.
Oh my God. Whatever.
Anyway, this time of year, it's kind of a little bit of a break for us. But of course, we're also kind of working to prepare for next season. Usually when someone calls me, they don't really know how volleyball works. I always tell them, it's really broken down into 3 seasons. You have your mini club for the younger kids. And of course, for older kids, it would be high school. You have your regular season, which is, the season from November to April. And then you have your postseason, which is, from usually basically May and June.
Yeah.
And then right now you kind of have that in between, right, where you're kind of headed into postseason. This is really my least favorite part of the year for a couple of reasons.
Why?
It's just because of the number one, the uncertainty of what's going to happen, and it's just all the little things that kind of happen in the background. You know what I mean? Like this, which we're gonna go over that. That's really the whole point of this episode, is just kind of give you guys again a little bit of access to what we go through as directors and even coaches and players. So we're going to kind of, break that down. Real quick, do want to talk about how amazing of a season we had this year. It's been pretty wild. We had 7 bids this year with 5 different teams, which means obviously that 2 teams double bidded.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, never had that many. It's huge congratulations to 13 Fernando, who bidded twice, in Open and USA, 14 Katia in Liberty, 18 Fernando in American, 15 Katia in USA, and 15 Brittany in Freedom. Again, I'm proud of all of them, but in a way, I'm most proud of Brittany's team.
Yeah,
for
that was awesome.
A twos team to come out and get a bid is just fantastic. And they came really close to getting an American bid. So in a national qualifier, so they just did so great. Really, really, really proud of them. I'm just so excited. Every year we've increased our bid total, which is good. It's not all about the bid, but it's obviously a good indication. But you can also look at all of our rankings from all of our teams.
Yeah,
has gone up each and every year.
That's awesome.
So we're doing something.
We're only inclining.
Yeah,
not declining.
The whole idea of this is you have to kind of build year by year.
Correct.
It doesn't happen overnight, or it shouldn't. You kind of got to build. So, and of course, right now we have announced our tryout dates. It is live. Registration is live. You can go on our website, on our social media. You can do all that. We gave a little early bird discount if you book by June 1st, and that's basically because we're trying to it gives us a better idea of how many people are going to be there.
Yep.
Do we have to move, add a wave, take away a wave? How many coaches do you think we're going to need? We kind of can start kind of sort of like mapping out our coaches and whatnot. So hopefully, everybody I know people like to wait, but if you can do it now, that would make me very, very happy. So
yeah, it would make me happy too.
Yeah, I know. It's just kind of just kind of want to get that part out of the way. Again, not my favorite part. So while we are kind of going, while we're going through and doing like, tryout registrations and planning and working on the coaching lineups and all that kind of good stuff, planning camps and having open gyms and whatnot, there's really 3 things that go on behind the scenes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so again, in this episode, that's kind of what I want to do is I want to talk about those 3 things. And of course, you just kind of chime in where you want. The number one thing that happens is this is a time of year where players and their families are kind of starting to shop around for next season.
Yeah.
And so obviously nobody is committing or leaving for sure. And me as a big football fan, I always compare it to the NFL has a legalized tampering period, or like before free agency, they can talk to other teams. You can't officially sign, but you can say, hey, I'm coming.
Yeah. And you can like verbally say
right.
It.
And
can't put anything on paper.
Exactly. So it's kind of the same thing with us, and in volleyball, everybody has a 1-year contract. So essentially everybody is a free agent, coaches and players.
Imagine if you saw that like kids signing contracts.
I know we have like signing
day.
Or like they have a hat they put on like this, and I've taken my talents to Florida Elite Volleyball Academy.
Elyse Garcia has signed a 4-year contract with Florida Elite Volleyball Academy.
I wish we could sign coaches to multiple year contracts. So maybe we can. Maybe we should look into that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I know. So, but yeah, so basically anyone who's not happy with their club or, they want to make a better team or, whatever.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that, are obviously shopping. And then, for us, I'm sure you hear it, we hear all these rumors about, hey, this player's coming. Oh, this player's leaving. They're going to go here.
It's always talk.
It's always talk. And sometimes it's right.
Are like, oh, I want to play with my friend. It's a chance for like, they might have made a friend in high school that plays on a club volleyball team. And now they want that friend to come play with them, or they want to go play with that friend. It's just,
yeah.
There could be so many reasons why.
Yeah. And a lot of times, I would say more times than not, it's nothing. It doesn't end up happening.
Yeah.
But you can't help but as the club director and as the coach, you can't help but worry.
Yeah.
And, a little bit of worry, obviously excited for who's coming in, but you never want to lose. You really don't want to lose anybody. Yeah. And so it's going to happen. I always tell
people it's we're not like, oh, we need this. Like we're not always constantly looking. But we we want people to come in. We want people to come see us and
that's the only way,
things like that.
That's the only way that we can build a true program. To me, a true program is not, the ones team is really good.
Correct.
A true program is 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5, all the way down.
You're
and that's
successful
every single level. So you can have players wanting to to make that 4s team. Because they're still going to be a really good team. It's still going to be better than another club's.
I always say that like number really doesn't identify the level of play these girls are.
Yeah.
Like for instance, our 2s team got a bid.
Yeah.
Like
and there's a lot of girls.
And there's probably some people that I'm not saying on us, but like in other clubs or anything, will be like, oh, I don't want to be on a 2s team.
Yeah.
This and look where this got them.
Yeah.
They got a bid in a level that I think they're going to be very successful in.
Yeah.
And nationals, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
And that's kind of the last podcast when I was, if you guys didn't listen, I had the 15 Brittany's team on like right after they won the bid, and I was kind of telling them, I was like, look, there's 3 or 4 players on this team that have been on the 1s before, and I'm really proud of them for staying and and working on the 2s and making that 2s better than most teams won. So I
think like when Katia was on last, she did a really good job explaining how we do our tryout process. And explaining like we're not, I've heard of some clubs, especially like back in the day, like I'm talking about years ago, where they would split their best players into 2 teams.
Right. Yeah.
And then try to make 2 good teams. It's like, no, we don't need to do that. We have overall talent.
Let's just have.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that level of play.
Yeah.
That's appropriate for them to be in a certain level.
Right. So it is. Again, it is very stressful because I personally hate losing. I hate losing girls.
Yeah.
I think less so than the coaches am I worried about the talent is more so the kids and the families. And I just hate to see anybody go but it's the nature of the beast. You're never going to retain everybody. You're never going to make everybody happy, but I always will continue to try to do so, but
from a coach's standpoint, it's, you build this relationship with these kids since October, November, playing, like you've met them in the summer prior, the year before. And you watch them in high school and stuff like that. So you build a relationship. So regardless, you never want to see anyone go.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, one of the hardest things for me is when you have a team, you have your tryouts, and you have a girl who's, say been on the ones teams for 2 years or 3 years or even 1 year, and they're going to get moved down. It's, you have to, because that's the talent that comes in. I mean, again, one thing about us, I think it's so funny. You hear people say, if you don't go to this school, FIVA's not going to play you, or you're not going to make this team. That is the biggest bunch of hogwash I've ever heard in my life. Because, listen, I will tell you right now, and this is the truth, and I've talked about this with her. Katia would put her own daughter on the twos team if she had a better setter in that position. It doesn't matter. Like that is not. And once the season goes on, like once the season starts, you're not even thinking about what high school this kid goes to, or if they've been here
trying to win,
or they've been here for 2 years, 3 years. We could all care less. Maybe some clubs run that way. I can't.
Or like players, it's like the same thing. Like players feel like they need to, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, what am I trying to say here?
Like they have to play certain players because they've been on the club for so many years.
Like, no, that's not what we're trying to do.
No, but it is tough.
But that does happen at other clubs.
Yeah, I'm sure. But it is tough. Like it's not something that we look forward to doing. Oh, we're replacing this kid with a better team. Like it's very, very, especially for me. I really, it really bothers me, and especially because if that kid leaves, 9 times out of 10, if they stay, they end up being really happy, and it works out great. But I feel bad for those ones, and it is just the nature of the beast. It's the nature of the way we do things here. So it'll happen this year. I hope I'm wrong.
Doesn't mean we love you less.
Exactly.
We just want you to be successful where you're going to. And that's
the thing is, we could always just say, here, we're gonna put you on the ones and just not play you. You know what I mean? Or but if we didn't care about the kid, that's what we would do. We'll take that money, put you on the bench, and we'll be rolling.
Put you in a point or two, or in a random game on that random weekend.
But we take it very serious that our job is to get her, do the best for these kids, put them in the best positions to win, best positions to succeed, and be to develop.
We're not going to carry a high number,
right,
for that girl just to sit the bench,
right?
Yeah.
So
there's no point of that.
So anyway, the next thing that kind of happens is movement by the coaches.
Oh, this is my favorite
I know. I can see you light up. This
is where the tea really is.
Yes, this is really where it all starts. So this is basically, when coaches want to move on from their current club and they start reaching out to other clubs. A lot of clubs will already, they'll hire the coach while they're still at the other club. Can't say we've never done that. It's just part of the game. If someone applies, you have to hire them.
Yeah.
But
that's why is there a waiting period? It's not
Yeah.
our job to be like, hey coach, you need to figure things out over there first, and then you could come up interview. People don't do that. People don't leave their job and then go start interviewing.
Well, it does put the club, it does put the club director in a very difficult position.
But at the same time, if roles were reversed, how would that club do
it's
it?
difficult
Probably
for
the same
everyone.
way.
When a coach leaves in the middle of the season, I'm gonna call it middle of the season, but let's just say right now, if the coach has said, hey, I'm leaving FIVA and I'm going to Club X, it puts everybody in a difficult. It's difficult for us. It's difficult for the players under that coach, their families, it's difficult for everyone to understand why we as club directors, we have to make a decision. So you basically, when you find out a coach is leaving, when they're going to a competitor, right? When I say competitor, I mean a local team, another club in Tampa, right? You have to really decide as a club director, are you going to let that coach finish out the season for you, or do you just go ahead and let them go? Most people think, hey, you got to keep the coach. They've been there. That's what's best for the team and the kids. It's not always the case, unfortunately, and you got to so number one, you have to understand that there's almost a 100% chance that a coach is going to influence him or her to those kids to follow him or her to the new club.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it be on purpose or just, they have a huge connection with that coach. It
is,
like
I said, you just build a relationship with these kids this last year.
So if you go and
happen.
If you're leaving and your players are going to be like, of course, well, why is she leaving? Well, is it better here? Should I really love Elyse. I want to follow her. And it's just kind of the way it works.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and really most people base how they feel about their club based upon their coach, right? Correct. I mean, if you have it's kind of like a teacher. If you have, but how's the school? Well, if your teacher's great, it's a great school. If your teacher's not, if you don't like your teacher, it's a terrible school. Terrible. It's kind of the same way. So yeah, if a coach leaves, they're going to want to follow. And then on top of that, most coaches, when they leave, they're going to try to bring the players with them by asking, hey, come follow me. It's just the way, it's the way it is. But again, it's, even if they don't do that, they're not going to say, don't follow me. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's just tough.
Like if like coaches, if you are leaving a club, just leave with respect, right? Like, and especially if they're letting you coach AAUs and things like that, leave with respect. Just, hey, I'm going here. I'm letting you know, and make sure you let them know, and not
find out on social media. We'll put a pin in that as well. But I mean, it's
even when I left my last club, it was in that postseason. I didn't know what I was doing. Like I didn't give you guys a confirmation until months later.
Yeah,
and I was just like, I know I will not be back here next year. I don't know if I'm going to coach. I don't know if I'm going to go somewhere else. Right. So it's like, what do you want to do? Do you want me to finish out postseason or not?
Right.
And it was
it's hard
finish out postseason.
And it's hard too, because as a club director, you might not have the coach. Most people don't have, if you're leaving our top 16 team, we don't just have elite coaches just in the bullpen. You can't just go like,
well, my thing too was like, I wanted to make sure I did it with class and everything. And I was like, what do you want me to say? When do you want me to say it? Do you even want me to tell the girls?
Right.
If you don't want me to tell the girls until I'm done coaching them, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. I mean, for me, generally speaking,
like, what's your ideal way of a coach leaving?
They don't leave.
You don't.
That's the ideal. And luckily for us, we've been so fortunate where it hasn't really happened to us. And I'm knocking on wood, because it could happen at the end. I mean, who knows?
Davis, I'm putting my resignation paper
stop
working.
No, we're not. I'm not accepting it. But it is, I lean towards, the coach kind of you have to let the coach go. And again, I think you have a better chance of bringing in a coach and the kids liking that coach and wanting to stay for that coach versus I just think it's such a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And my best comparison, again, I always got to compare to football or football or basketball. But if you follow college football, if Ole Miss, they had Lane Kiffin as their coach.
And then
so for those who don't know, which I know a lot of you volleyball girls won't know this, so he was a coach at Ole Miss, and he led his team to the playoffs. Ole Miss does not visit the playoffs very often. It's been a really long time since like Archie Manning played. They've made it that far. But anyway, he then went, and during their little break before the playoffs started, he got a job at LSU, which is obviously in the same conference. It's like us and Tampa North or Tampa United, like direct competition. He went and got a job with them, and then he was like, well, I want to stay and coach through the bowl game, through the playoffs. And the AD is like, no, you're not. I can't have you. And I heard one person say, like, you can't have them using the Ole Miss phone to call LSU prospects. You just can't do it. So it's difficult both ways. That's the biggest
thing. Like, you're preparing for the postseason. So if you keep that coach, they're going to be prepared. Like, they know what you're going to be doing and what your plan is and what you're sharing.
And and another thing too, that I don't know how often it really happens, but it can happen, is it can have a disconnect between the player and a coach. So let's say you're leaving, you're getting onto your players. It's very easy for that player to say, well, she's quitting on me. I don't have to listen to her.
Yeah.
It's just a tough situation.
Yeah.
But why should I listen to you? You're quitting. So it can happen. And it's really just a no-win for the club director. I don't think there is a good way to deal with it.
You just deal with it. It's just like a coach leaving mid-season. You got to figure it out.
Right. So on the other hand, obviously, like Coach Alexis is leaving. She's moving to South Carolina. I'm sure she's going to go coach club volleyball. we're not going to let her go. She's not taking her kids to South Carolina. She's not going to try to take those kids to South Carolina. The kids know that she's not quitting on them. The husband got a job and they have to move. And that's just kind of the way it is. That's obviously an easy one, but it does get really,
I think that's our only one.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean,
yeah.
And I was talking to Kai about this 2 days ago. I was like, how many of our coaches, our former coaches, are currently coaching, went to another club? We can only think of one. And that was from our very first year. Any coach,
I don't even know
we've either driven them into retirement or they're still here because they have not gone. We've been so fortunate on that.
You guys are going to drive me into retirement.
I guess we got to keep.
You know what? I did tell Claudia though. I was like, "Hey, when can I get my name on a ball cart?"
Ooh.
And she goes, "You gotta promise me 10 years."
Yeah.
So won't Layla be 11? She'll be playing by then. I think I could do that.
All right. Yeah, I'm good with that. But yeah, this happens every single year. It's already happened to a local club this year. I'm sure a lot of people already know who that is. I'm not going to say names. I want to be respectful, and but I do feel for that club director, and it's not just one, but I'm just speaking of one in particular. I feel bad for them. I feel bad for the kids that have lost their coach for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So I guess I look at it, I guess I got to keep being really nice to you guys, like I have been. Brought you lunch today.
Yeah, that was good.
Putting you on these first class Southwest flights.
I love it.
Those kind of things.
First class.
Yeah.
You know what? I want the exit row.
Exit row.
That's first class in my eyes. If I don't
Southwest,
have that, I will rip whatever FIBA person is there out of their seat and sit there.
Yeah, it is good. It is definitely good. All right, so now we move on to the third thing that happens.
All right, let's hear it.
This is new clubs starting up, and this is another.
This is probably the most sketchiest one out.
Yeah, and let me be very, very clear. This is not a bad thing. Everyone has to start at some point. Yeah. We did it. We were a brand new club, so I am sketchy. So anything that I say from here on out does not mean that I dislike any club that comes out of. They're terrible. They don't know what they're doing. That is not what I'm saying. Everybody has to start. So just understand that. It would be very hypocritical for me to criticize someone for opening up a new club, right? I can't do that. That being said, there are clubs that pop up that try to take shortcuts to success, right?
What do they do? Like grab the coach and then the players?
So basically what they do is they start out by poaching players from other teams, in the middle of the regular season. They just start poaching. So instead of having a tryout and, trying to build their club from the ground up, they're poaching these players and creating these ready-made teams.
Okay.
And that's kind of, I'm just telling parents and players, if you listen to me on this, do not join these clubs. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to explain to you guys why, because, well, first of all, they don't succeed. That's just pure. I mean, there's just so many examples. They do not succeed. If you kind of use the analogy of building a house, you don't just slap on wood and nails and build a house, right? You have to build the foundation first.
Mm-hmm.
You don't build the foundation, the house is not going to last,
mm-hmm.
right? It may look nice for it may look nice for a year, but eventually it's gonna come falling down because you never built the foundation. So when you're taking an entire team, you're taking 4 kids from this club and 6 kids from this club, and there's my team. We're not even going to worry about tryouts or anything like that. I've got my teams. You're just not developing. There's no development in doing that. And then people find out those teams are already done, and they're not going to go try out for a club that already has their team built.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. The team's already pre-made. Why am I going to waste my time? And really, trials are just kind of an illusion, or as everybody like to say, a money grab. That's the big word that people use, but it kind of is. You're just not going to develop anything.
Yeah.
And usually when these clubs start, it's usually the same thing. It's usually a person who's never run a club or run a business at any point. So they're trying to skip the necessary steps to just go right into glory, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to build my club.
Do you want to name a club?
I'm not doing that. But it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work like that.
Trying to stir the pot.
I know you really are trying to get me in trouble, and I'm already probably going to get in trouble, but that's okay. A lot of times it's like, it's parents or coaches that are not happy, have bounced from club to club and have just never been happy. So I'm just going to start it on my own. But the problem with that is they're doing everything to benefit themselves. They're not doing it to benefit the club. Yeah. So I'm going to make this team for my daughter. I'm going to make this team for me to coach. So you're not worried about the other girls. You're not worried about the other teams. You're only worried about yourself.
Yeah, one team is not gonna, be the only.
It's not gonna make a club.
Correct.
One team does not make a club.
Can one team help your club name get out there? 100%.
Yeah.
But you also still have to continue to do things for that team along with the other teams that you're going to be bringing in.
Yeah.
And I think some clubs forget about that sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, you can't. I mean, when we first started, we basically had two good teams. We had a 17s team and an 18s team. 17s was Mia, and everybody wanted to play with Mia. Mia is Kadia's oldest daughter, and 18s team was my daughter Kylie, who most of her teammates from the year prior came to, and they were good teams. They weren't amazing. I mean, Mia's team was closer to amazing than Kadia's, but they were solid teams.
Yeah.
But everybody else we had was not that great. We developed them. I mean, you look at someone like Jazzy, who started on our 12 regional team. And Jazzy and Haley was on that team. They've developed every single year. They weren't great. They weren't even good. And that 12 team was terrible. They lost almost every game. But
it's fun to see them have grown too, and so that's the whole point. And so that's one of our top teams now.
Yeah. So we had to build up our teams to be impressive. We were lucky that our daughters were 17 and 18, but we had to build everything else. And it had its moments that we weren't competing in most of these tournaments until the next year we started to compete a little more. Then the next year we really started to compete, and now we're really starting to. It's only really last year and this year we've really started to compete. Beyond just our top teams. Yeah. But
But it just shows that we're putting in the development.
Yeah.
Into these kids and making sure they're getting what they need to be successful.
Yeah.
And that we're not a club that just only looks at our ones team as the only team.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, can't say this enough. There is nothing wrong with a new club starting and trying to get new players. But again, I just think when you're trying to create full teams in March and April for the following season, it's just not the way to do it. And because
you know what you're doing. You're just going around at AAUs and you're going around.
They're not even waiting to AAUs.
Yeah, you're right. They're doing
it
now.
At Gasparilla. It's crazy.
Yeah, they do it there.
There is a club.
They're going to do it at a regional tournament is probably the easiest way to do it. To be honest.
Yeah. So there's a new club locally coming to town that's doing it. I'm not gonna give them the glory to say.
Do I know?
I don't think so. I'm not gonna mention their name, but they're even using parents to come out and recruit. So they're having parents sitting on their other team's courts in the middle of games talking to these parents about, hey, come to our club.
That's wild.
Yeah. So they're promising the
dirty word,
promising the moon and the stars, and they have no way to
promise that.
They have no way to fulfill that.
They have no way to show that.
Yeah, you have nothing. You have
even if that coach coached that team at another club.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't mean that's going to be exactly going to happen at the new one.
And so I've said this a million times. Being a great club director. Being a great coach does not equal being a great club director. You can be a great coach and a terrible club director. You can be a terrible coach and be a great club director. It can go either way. You can be good at both. You can be great at both. You can be bad at both. But just the two are so not connected.
Yeah.
It's totally different. It's totally different skill sets. I would be the worst coach out there.
We all know that.
Yeah. I'm an average, slightly above average director, at least, I like to think.
I'll give you that.
Okay. Slightly above average.
Director.
Yeah, but
you're very responsive.
It's two totally different jobs. It's a lot of experience too, and obviously when you go to a brand new club, there's a lot of it's a big learning curve. It was for us.
There's a lot of firsts,
and that's okay.
That's what people forget. There's a lot of firsts, and they think they know because they were on one side of it, but they've never been the director side of it.
Right, and it's okay. It's okay to have issues, starting up. It's okay to go to a club that's going to have some of those growing pains, but most of those people, they're going to that club thinking they're going to get an open bid. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're just going to be this amazing club in year one. That ain't gonna happen.
And then when
it doesn't happen,
and then when they don't even play open,
and then it crashes and burns. You know what I mean? And then everything goes, yeah, right.
It's like later on, well, we're gonna put you guys in American.
Yeah. So I can go down a long list of clubs that have kind of failed this business model. So I'm just gonna say it again. Buyer beware. Buyer beware, guys. Don't do it. I'm telling you, you'll thank me later.
I feel like this has been one of the most so far, and I don't even think I've had 2 full weeks off yet, to be honest. I haven't.
Yeah.
I feel like this has been the wildest postseason
in
a long time.
In a long time.
Yeah.
There's been a lot.
I don't know if there's there's not even that there's more clubs. It's just
there is more clubs, but
I wouldn't even say that's the reason why for it.
I think everything goes. Everybody's trying to beat everybody to the punch.
I think it goes like the ego, the social media.
But it used to be you would start poaching players at AAU Nationals.
Yeah.
Now we're doing it at.
I felt like that was a fine line.
Yeah. Now we're doing it in February.
We're gonna poach them there.
Yeah. Now we're doing it in February. We had a parent, one of those parents from that club, talking to our kids in mini club about coming to their club. Like, what are we doing?
Like, it's never gonna get brought.
I know.
And then, like, as a parent, it does feel good when you're hearing stuff about your kid. So of course they're gonna go brag. They're gonna brag to their friends, and then those friends know those friends, and those friends know the coaches, and then the coaches know the directors. It's it will get back.
It will get back, and it's fine. I mean, look, I never punish a kid for that. I will. We're never gonna. And I always say this too: if you're leaving a club, everybody leaves for the same ultimate reason. You're leaving because you think it's a better opportunity for your daughter.
The grass ain't always greener on the other side.
But I can't blame a kid for doing. I can't blame people for doing. I can't never speak to someone again because of that. It's at the end of the day, they're just trying to do right by their kid.
100%. Yeah, and you can't do anything but as a parent, you want to support your kid and whatnot, but.
Yeah. So even if I don't
put a lot of thought into it. Don't do it off. I always tell people, if it's for one specific reason, go home, sit down, think about it for a little. Tryouts aren't until July.
Yeah.
I wouldn't start opening your mouth about like, we're going to do this thing because they're not happy about one reason, but a million other reasons were great, right?
Yeah.
Just sit down, talk about it.
Yeah.
Have those conversations.
And you're never
pros and cons list.
Right. You're never going to find a perfect club.
No, never. It's not out there. You can't find a perfect anything.
Yeah. So, again, nothing wrong with changing clubs if it's best, but grass is not always greener. And again, stay away from these ready-made clubs. Just telling you guys, that is my the best advice I might give you on this entire podcast. So anyway, thank you all for joining us. We will be back next week for another episode.
Can't wait. I'm back. I'm glad I'm back in this seat.
Me too. It was good. It was kind of weird not having you there on the last one. So I'm glad you're here. So I am working on bringing in a very special guest. I haven't even told you about it, but I'm working on it. So hopefully we can make that work. Once again, follow us wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Let's do it.
Don't forget to give the #1 volleyball podcast in Florida a 5-star review.
Oh, can we talk about like how people have been talking about us?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it did fulfill my bucket in A6. I'm not going to say where this coach was coaching, but we were back to back and reffing, and I hope he's listening so then he could go like, he's talking about me. He's talking about me. I had to text Davis right away. I saw on the perks that, plus side. He was like, man, I love listening to your guys' podcast. Like, it's really good. Like, you guys share good information. It's funny and all the things. So even our competitors, and this was like a local club towards us.
Yeah.
Are listening to our podcast. I'm like, there we go. We're doing something right.
Well, Brittany had someone from Ohio, I think.
Brittany had someone from Ohio. And then what about the email you sent me?
Oh yeah, got an email with someone saying basically that it's been very helpful and it's kind of leaning them toward that to do that. Oh, I am so sorry. I gotta start. I got one more thing. We had questions.
Oh,
and so let's go over these questions.
I forgot about my brilliant idea.
Yeah, we did have questions. So
yeah, let me hear them.
I'm gonna kind of paraphrase because it was kind of a long, and I'm gonna kind of break it down. First one is wanting to know the difference between a 5-1 and a 6-2 and the advantages. And I'm gonna give that 100% to you.
You sure you don't want to?
I'm not touching it.
Okay.
I could not tell you.
So obviously the advantages part, that's gonna be based off of like coach's preference and stuff. But I could tell you exactly what a 5-1 and a 6-2 is. 6-2 is when you have 2 setters, okay, and there's eligible for 6 people to be on the court as hitters. Obviously, you can't play with 8. So typically, the setter is coming from the back row. The setter is coming from the back row. And once you get to the front row, you can sub someone in for that setter as a hitter for the right side, and then someone will come. That right side will be coming out and going in for another setter. So that's your 6-2 option. Your 5-1 is when you have a setter that's playing front and back row, setting the whole point of the game. I used to be a really big fan of a 6-2. I loved it because I've always had 3 strong, big hitters. Mm-hmm. And then I had 2 great setters. I'm a huge fan of a 5-1 now. I will pick a 5-1 any day. I think if you have the setter, and sometimes people don't like running the 5-1 because their setter's short. I don't care. Look at Ava. Ava's not the tallest person, but that girl
she gets it done.
Oh my gosh, she's incredible. She's one of the best setters. She's gonna be. I can't even imagine what she's gonna be when she's 18. Yeah. But I started liking it honestly when I started coaching Mia.
Yeah.
And then it does help. Really helps, she was a bigger setter of the ones I've had. A 5-1 gets your hitters in the flow of your setter. They know what they're getting. Sometimes when you're running a 6-2, you have hitters that are only getting that setter for 2 rotations or 1 rotation. So it could kind of just, like, I would say their favorite setter for that many rotations. So it kind of just depends. I think the preference and the differences and stuff, it's just obvious. You have 1 setter or you have 2. Yeah. And then I think everything is just going to go based off what the coach wants.
All right. Yeah. There you go. That's a good answer. Definitely better than I could have done.
Yeah. Do you know what a 4-2 is? Did anyone ever ask that one?
No. I'm going to let you go ahead. Go ahead. Just say it.
Go ahead, say that's like old school. That's like beginning.
That's babies.
Babies. That's like when your setter's coming from the front row. So you have 2 setters, but your setter's going to be in the front row.
In the front.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah.
I actually did know that.
Yeah. Look at that.
It's still good for you. It's still good for you to explain it. All right. The other question that they asked was, a better understanding of the tiebreaker scenarios in tournaments. This is where my expertise lies. I am the tiebreaker expert that everybody calls. I'm the best at it. I'm just going to tell you right now.
These are some good questions.
It's a good question.
Did people really put this in, or did you do this?
No, I swear.
David's like, I need to know this stuff.
No, I swear. This is from Heather, Heather's parents.
Okay.
I don't know if it's Heather or her parents, but either way. So the tiebreaker situation. So can it get very complicated? I'm going to keep it as simple as I possibly can. You can't do every scenario. I'm going to give you the most common scenarios. A 2-way tie, very, very simple. Head to head. Whoever won, right? There's 2 teams that are 2-1, and they're tied for first place. The team that beat each other is the winner. The team that beat the other is the winner. Very easy. What gets complicated is when you have a 3-way tie. All right. So let's say you have, one team is 0-3 and the other 3 teams are 2-1, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now, first thing you look at is their set percentage.
Yes.
So what that means is how many sets they won versus how many sets they lost and the percentage. So if it's the highest set percentage, they win. They are the first place, followed by second, followed by third. Now, what do you do if it's if they all 3 have the same set percentage? That's where it gets tricky. So
points.
Only if it's not a qualifier. If it's not a qualifier, it goes by point percentage, right? So whoever basically won by the most amount of points is going to win, so on and so forth. If it is in a qualifier and they have to be in contention for gold. So it doesn't have, if you're like in the 10-foil bracket on day 2, they just go by points. But if it's in contention to get gold, then there is a playoff. Okay, there is a playoff in that situation. Now, first, second, third all have the same. How do you determine first, second, and third? So basically, usually the way it's done is second and third will play for second place. So they will determine they'll determine the rankings by points. So first, second, third. So the team with the highest point percentage will become first place, and then second and third will play for second place.
Oh, so they won't go for a point percentage for them.
Only to determine ranking. Only to determine who's first, who's second, who's third.
But they would still make second and third play again.
Correct. They'll make second and third in a qualifier in contention for gold, because it's kind of you could destroy a team, other team kind of quits or whatever. I don't know. I agree with that. I think point should not be a determination, in my opinion.
Well, 100%. It should play a game to 15.
Yeah. And usually it's 1 to 25. I have heard of tournaments that go 1 to 15. But yeah, I think that's basically how that works. Now there's obviously other scenarios. I don't know what happens if they're all tied in point percentage. I don't know if that's even possible, but I have no idea what would happen there. I've never seen that happen.
What if they like all won and lost like 25-23?
Yeah, right.
That'd be wild.
That would be wild. And I don't,
that'd be like you're there all night.
I don't know. I don't know how you do that. I don't have any idea how you do that. But yeah, so that is your basic tiebreak procedure. Every tournament sends out a tiebreak procedure thing, and I will actually read that typically. I am that much of a nerd, but I want to be prepared. So I'm usually the one who's like at the court, like, okay, we have to win this in 3.
If you have any questions about the schedule, you just go, Davis.
Yeah.
You need to tell me.
Well, it was the one game that Kadia's 15s team was playing on day 2. If they had to win in 2 to advance. If they lost in 3, if they won in 3, they were already out.
Yeah.
And so, you gotta let the coach know what the scenario is.
Like, you need to do this.
You need to do this. So.
Yeah, because sometimes when you're coaching, you're just like, oh no, I think this, and this, or like you think about it from a different tournament, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
there is nothing worse than going 2-1 and not coming in and being kicked out. That is that is rough. So, all right. Anyway, now we're out of here.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Fever side, serve it up live. Davis in the cut, Coach Elyse on the mic. Hey! We go above the tape, every story, every play. Break it down on the daily, club dreams on a Tuesday. From the first ball toss to that fist set freeze. Every dive, every drop, gotta take from Elyse. Davis with the stats, he be talking that heat. From the bench to the bus, yeah, we bring it this week. Above the tape, we rise up. Fever club, turn it up. Every set, every side out. We talk it all on the pod, no doubt. Above the tape, can't hold us. Happy voices in the chorus. Bump set, love this game. Sing it loud, remember the name. Above the tape. Above the tape. Whistle blows, we're on, new it, please press play. Parents in the parking lot, kids streaming on the way. Laughing through the bloopers, crying when we fall short. Then we're back in the gym, turn the pain into sport. Coach Elyse with the wisdom, Davis got the questions. Every week's a new one, even learning from lessons. For the tape, we rise up. Fever club, turn it up. Every set, every side out. We talk it all on the pod, no doubt. Above the tape, can't hold us. Happy voices in the chorus. Bump set, love this game. Sing it loud, remember the name. Above the tape. We go up, 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 never stay the same. Talk it out, lift it up. Every play up a name. From the first little league to the college stage. Fever fam in your ears as you chase that wave. Above